You're tuned in to the Rachel Burnside YouTube channel. It's the only Rachel, your source for beauty, inspiration, and all things lifestyle. Stay tuned. We're making vegetable paella. It's considered vegan by itself. You can choose to make a protein. I made fish with mine. On to our ingredients. First, you're going to need 2 red bell peppers. Clean them, seed them, and then cut them the long way. Next, you're going to need 1 medium yellow onion. Be sure to finely dice that onion. Our next ingredient will be a lemon. You're going to need half of a lemon juiced. Next, you're going to need minced garlic. About 7 cloves of fresh minced garlic should suffice. Our next ingredient happens to be one of my favorites. It's Sazón Goya. It actually is what you use in arroz con pollo, and I need you to get 1 packet of the con azafrán version. Next, you're going to need half a cup of pitted Kalamata olives halved. If you get them like I got them whole, you'll just need to cut them in half on your own. Our next ingredient is sea salt. A lot of this will be you kind of salting things to your taste or to your liking, and I'll let you know when you need it. Our next ingredient is black pepper, and similar to the sea salt, I'll let you know when you need it, but you will want to season to your liking. Next, you will need smoked paprika. Be sure to get the smoked version. It really does add a lot of flavor to this dish. Next, you will need half a teaspoon of saffron threads crumbled. This is optional, but I highly recommend it. It really does make this dish. Next, you'll need 1 can of diced tomatoes drained. You can use Rotel or any version. I like this version because of the jalapeno. And here we have 2 cups of white rice, 1 can of quartered artichoke hearts drained, 1 can of chickpeas also drained. And here we have half a cup of white wine. I used white cooking wine, but Sauvignon Blanc really goes well with this dish also. And now you'll need 3 cups of broth. You can use vegetable broth or chicken broth, but if you want it to be vegan, keep it at vegetable. Olive oil also. Half a cup of frozen green peas and fresh thyme. And that's all you need. Here are all of our beautiful ingredients. You will need a Dutch oven. Make sure that this can go in the oven as well as on the stove. You will need to do both in this recipe. And then a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. The parchment paper will assist you with that cleanup process, honey. Preheat your oven to 350 and put your Dutch oven on the stove. Add in those 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and when it's ready, dump in your onions and a little bit of salt. You're going to cook those onions until they're translucent, about 5 minutes. Now you guys, you have to use a Dutch oven. If you don't, this recipe might not work. Once your onions are ready, it's time to add in your garlic and paprika, and you're going to cook this until fragrant. This takes about 30 seconds. There we go. We're going to add in our tomatoes. Remember to drain those tomatoes. Dump that, and then you're going to cook this mixture until it begins to darken and slightly thicken. This takes about 2 minutes. Your kitchen should be smelling kind of good now. Dump in that broth, whatever type you chose, all 3 cups. And then add in your chickpeas. You're also going to add in your wine as well as your saffron if you chose to use it. Now again, I really do recommend it because it makes this recipe amazing. You're also going to want to add in your Sazon Goya packet and about a teaspoon of salt. Now, make sure you add in your rice. You can see in mine, I had my saffron sitting on top of my rice and I just poured it all in together. Give it a really good mix, guys. Mix it well. We want those ingredients to blend. Increase your heat to medium-high and bring the mixture to a boil. Stir your pot occasionally. Once the mixture is boiling, it's time to transfer it to the oven. So you're going to cover the pot and you're going to put it on the lower rack in the oven, the lowest rack possible. You may have noticed that we have not used all of our vegetables, and that's because our next step is going to be to roast those bad boys. So you want to make sure that you have 1 rack on the top of the oven for those roasting vegetables and 1 rack on the bottom of the oven for the pot. Keep the pot and the oven closed, and you're going to bake the paella for 50 to 55 minutes. While that's baking, put your artichoke, red pepper, and olives in a bowl. It's time to get these ready for roasting. You're going to put a tablespoon of olive oil in the bowl and half a teaspoon of salt. And go ahead and put ground black pepper in there as well. Do this to your liking. And then toss it to combine, and we're going to spread that evenly across that pan lined with parchment paper. Aren't those veggies pretty? Make sure that they're spaced out and go ahead and put them in the oven for roasting. It's going to take about 45 minutes. We're back. Our veggies are done roasting and I let them cool off for a couple minutes. Now I'm going to take half a lemon and squeeze that lemon juice all over the vegetables. Sprinkle your vegetables with some fresh thyme. Now it's time for pagao. It's that crispy brown rice at the bottom of the pan that my mom used to always talk about. What you need to do is put your pot on your stove and turn it on medium heat and rotate your pot for a few minutes. It'll give you that crispy brown rice. Then turn off your stove and toss your frozen vegetables and fresh thyme on top of your rice and cover it. You're going to let this steam in the pot for 5 minutes. Now it's time to toss the rest of your roasted vegetables in the pot and let that sit for a couple minutes. Then go ahead and give it a mix. Look at that, guys. Does that not look delicious? And it was so easy. You see that beautiful brown piece? That's the pagao that I was talking about. So like I said, that part is optional. If you don't want the pagao, then when you take it out of the oven, go straight to putting your peas and thyme on top and let it rest. But if you, like me, want a little crunchy pagao in your dish, then you do want to put it on the stove on medium heat and rotate your pot for about 5 minutes while you're doing it. and then you can go ahead and finish with the recipe. And that's it. Super simple recipe, and it's so delicious. I hope that you enjoyed it. And to show me that you did, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. It takes 2 seconds to subscribe, and that'll let me know that you really liked this and you want to see more. I made scallops and I made potato encrusted cod to go with this dish because I love seafood. And if you want that recipe, I need a subscription. Thanks for watching, Rachel Burnside. Subscribe, like, and share.